Hey everybody, it's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to my channel here. Those of you who are subscribing to Traveling with Bruce, thank you so much. 60,500 and counting. All of you giving my videos thumbs ups and sending me comments. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all your support. Today's video is concerning the possible surprise that travelers are going to face going forward that we really haven't talked about yet. It is basically called the COVID testing surprise or nightmare. Whether you're going on a cruise or whether you're just traveling from place to place, and depending on where you're traveling and when and under what circumstances, you could be in for a world of hurt going forward. What I'm talking about is this. It is becoming more and more evident that if you are traveling to a destination by air, you are probably going to run into perhaps a surprise demand by the country that you've entered, the airport that you're at, for a COVID test result that might be less than 72 hours old, otherwise it is invalid, or the kind of test you've had taken that you thought was good enough is not deemed good enough by whatever agency you're running into. And folks, you try to stay on top of what every single country in the world deems to be appropriate. Good luck with that. I see this as a new normal coming our way, and I don't like it, but welcome to the new world. The new normal is where people arrive at the airport and are forced to get an airport test for the virus, like it or not, and you're going to pay airport prices. We have heard tests cost anywhere from $5 to $100 each, depending on where you get them done on land. But I am hearing at airports prices anywhere from $100 to $1,000, especially the so-called on-the-spot tests with fast results. They've got you, they know they've got you, and they're going to get you. And this is an issue that could really make it a nightmare for travelers. Those of you who are coming here to Fort Lauderdale or Miami to get on a cruise, look, if you're leaving from Heathrow, or you're leaving from, say, Frankfurt to Heathrow, Heathrow to Miami, Miami to the ship, you might get stuck having to pay for a COVID test at one airport or two on the way down here. If you're just driving into the port, no big deal. But if you're a flyer, you're at the mercy of the airport authority, the health authority of the country, county, state, city you're in, and there's nothing you can do about it. Some of these tests, like you see here, are swab tests. Some of them they stick this swab up your nose. Others are much more demanding, perhaps blood tests. It all varies. Everything is in flux right now, and before you even get on your ship, you might have to pay, between you and your traveler, you might already be out $250 to $500 just to get on your ship. Now, once you're on your cruise ship, you have to, of course, subject yourself to testing at the departure port, on the ship itself, of course. Every time you get off the ship in at a stop, you might have to be subjected to a temperature check when you come back on the ship. And all of these tests may well be included in your fare, because the cruise lines are going to try to make it as attractive as possible for all of us to get back on a cruise, obviously. And if a cruise line can conduct tests in a high volume format and it's quick and easy, great. It's low cost to them. No big deal. They'll offer it as part of their service. They'll dedicate a portion of their crew to this, every day at different ports of call. But what if this scenario happens here? You're in a place like this place. You're in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. You get off the ship, and you're now in Mexico itself. You get back on the ship. You think nothing of it. But when you return back to the USA to get on your flight home, you find out, you were in a country that they decided while you were away aren't adhering to certain protocols. And now you're subject to a new round of airport tests all over again. This can become a nightmare. Quickly, let me just say, again, thank you all of you out there who are following me, Traveling with Bruce, subscribing to this channel, giving my videos thumbs ups, leaving me your comments. Very much appreciate it. Be kind of like to know what you think of this topic. the surprise COVID tests that we could run into. The ships come back to, Fort Lauderdale and Miami and Port Canaveral, and you've got to go through Homeland Security to get on land. This could be dicey. I just don't know how this is going to work out. By the way, thank you for joining my Facebook group page as well. If you haven't done it already, come on over there. And also those of you who are helping out by supporting this channel by visiting my Redbubble store, picking up some TWE items. And those of you who are becoming sponsor members, we now have 2 sponsor member shows every week. Mondays at 7 and now Fridays at 3 o'clock Eastern. We play trivia Fridays as well. Come on over and enjoy the group there. We'd love to have you. Like I said, we think nothing of it. We get on the ship. We've tested our way down. We've tested our way on. We may have paid a couple $100 in additional tests. Maybe we got soaked at one particular airport. I've heard from one of my viewers that emergency testing, quick testing at San Francisco, $250 each. No discussion. I'm wondering if some of these airports around the world who have been decimated from their budgets because of the lack of air traffic, are they going to try to make up for loss of revenue by soaking us for a $100 margin markup or a $150 markup on test results? Because they got you. If you cannot get on the plane without an immediate result test, and the only test you can get is at the departure gate or in the one wing of the airport, and only that test will be will satisfy the airport authority, the airline, or country you're in or city you're in, you're stuck. You either pay or start walking because you're not getting on the plane. I really wonder about this. Scenes like this going forward, I don't see them happening anymore. I think we're going to be masked on cruise ships, socially distanced, and we're going to be, these are the old days. We're just not going to see this anymore. Coming back, same thing. Like I said, you get off the ship and you have a couple of connecting flights to get home. You got a good deal on your airfare. All is lost because as soon as you transfer planes and you get off a plane, walk through an airport terminal to get on another plane, you may find that unbeknownst to you, when you booked all of this, things changed, and you now need another round of tests because the last time you had a full-blown swab test was on the way down to your ship a week ago, 10 days ago, 14 days ago. Your test is no longer valid. They want a new test within 72 hours from accredited testing facilities that you have no idea who these entities are. And again, you're now stuck on the way home to try to get home through an airport scenario where you're going to pay airport prices. What worries me is there may well be a high number of innocents who followed what they thought were the rules, and they ended up having to pay $1,000 between husband and wife just for a series of tests on the way to the ship and on the way back from the ship, and no one will help them pay for it. I do see, however, the possibility of travel insurance policies being available, but what I worry about is the fine print in these insurance policies will basically say, oh yeah, you're covered for tests, at certain facilities, but they're not going to include the tests at the airport. Sorry, those are, those aren't covered for you. You got to pay those out of pocket. This guy right here, check the camera on the side of the helmet there. He isn't looking at you to see if you're a suspected criminal. He's checking your temperature. These folks here are scanning for passengers that are walking around the airport that are extra warm with the infrared cameras. Big Brother is beginning to watch us, and if you have privacy concerns, you may not want to go anywhere near an airport for the next couple of years. This could be so onerous and so intrusive that it could become a major, major turnoff for a lot of travelers out there. Business travelers are probably used to it. As I say, business travelers will have their employers pay for these costs, hopefully. But for those of us who are casual travelers who just want to get on these ships for these wonderful Caribbean getaways or what have you, we thought it was easy. We thought that once we booked our cruise with the cruise line and we followed all of their rules for testing, and that we would subject ourselves to a quick test at the departure terminal and temperature checks on board, willing to wear a mask. We thought that was the end of it. That'll be fine. But oh no, we're now beginning to notice that Heathrow, Frankfurt, and other major airports now in the U.S. as well are insisting on full-blown COVID tests of a certain style. One airport might want one kind of style, the other want another, and the travelers are at the mercy of the airport authorities. Folks, I really worry that we're going to get a slew of stories coming out over the next 6 months to a year of nightmare scenarios where passengers are being held up at airports, are being held for ransom. You pay or you don't board your flight, or you don't get into the country. You can't get the passport stamped, whatever it is, and you will pay what they tell you to pay. And I am worried about real ripoffs happening. Anyway, there it is. That's my happy story for the day. Something to watch out for. We'll follow it. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll keep you posted, everybody. Bye for now.